I really believe that this election is not, it's not about me. Obviously, I want to get elected. Obviously, it's important to me to get elected because I feel I have a lot to contribute. But it's not about me. It's about the future of our town. And as Kevin said, we have several difficult years, you know, at best, before things turn around. And there's a lot that needs to be done. This really is about our schools, it's about our seniors, it's about all the services we offer throughout the community. It's what we're going to become as a community and what we want to become as a community. And I think that this election is about, are we going to become a community of haves and have-nots? Are we going to become a community with isolated special interest groups that have no common interests? I certainly hope not. That's not the Shrewsbury that I want to see us become. I want to see a Shrewsbury that will continue to come together, to work to solve our problems, to come together and agree on common goals, and to work to achieving those goals. I want a Shrewsbury that values and understands the needs of all our residents, and I've said this since the first time I ran for elected office, and that has not changed. We need to understand that quality education is necessary for all of our children, and not only for our children, but for all of our futures. They are going to be the future of this country. We also need to understand that there are many seniors who need our help to find appropriate health and social services. They need fuel assistance, they need help in transportation, and some even need to have meals delivered to their homes just so they can eat. I want a Shrewsbury that deals with all of these needs in a fair and compassionate way. That's been my goal all the way through, and I have not changed it. And what I'm saying tonight is not campaign rhetoric. It's not just something to put out on campaign literature. I really believe what I'm saying. When I first ran 15 years ago, I never forget, somebody came up to me and said, "So what's your agenda?" And I look at the guy and I said, "What do you mean, what's my agenda?" And maybe I was politically naive. And he said, "What's your agenda? Everybody comes in here with an agenda." And I said, "I don't have one." And he said, "You have to have one." And I said, "Okay, I'll give you one then." I said, "I want to try to do the right things and represent everybody in town, okay?" And he kind of looked at me, and I don't think he ever got that kind of an answer from anybody before, and either he thought I was nuts or I just couldn't believe that somebody would say something like that. But it's true, and that's how I've handled myself in all these years. I think we need to work together and agree to allocate our resources fairly and responsibly. We need to fund our core services, but we still need to distribute resources to those other services and those other departments so that they can do the best they can with the resources that they have. I'm not in favor, even in tight budget times, of cutting or dismantling complete departments so that one certain segment of the population or one interest group can benefit. That's not what government's about, that's not what community's about, and that's not what I'm about. This budget season, reasonableness and fairness need to prevail. You know, I thought a little bit about accomplishments, and we wrote a big list about all the things that I and the board did over the past 15 years, and we did a lot. Built a lot of buildings, we did a lot of infrastructure work, we created new bylaws, we created new funds to capture money, but I don't really think that those are the most important things that I've done as a member of the board. I really think that the two biggest things that I've done, and I've worked very hard at, is building relationships with other board members, with other boards, with other elected officials, with legislative leaders, and with regional leaders. And by doing that, I think I and the board were able to get things done. And I think I also brought a willingness to listen, and I've been willing to learn, and I've been able to appreciate other people's point of view and take all of that and make a decision that with all that input, that is in the best interest of everybody. I need to say, people say to me, so you got experience. Well, so what? Why is it important? Well, I have a couple of reasons I think it's important. Experience is the single most important way to gain knowledge. And without knowledge, you're lost. You have nothing to draw on. Experience is the best way to gain wisdom, to gain the ability to discern intent, to read deeper meanings in what people are saying, to detect nonverbal communications, to manage relationships, and sometimes even predict outcomes. Experience gives you a different perspective. It gives you the long-term view. You're more easily able to see the entire landscape when you have the experience behind you. And you can make decisions that are based more on long-term goals, less on short-term gratification, and focus more on what's good for everybody as opposed to just one person or one segment of the population. But I think more importantly, experience leads to greater integrity. I think we all believe that we'll make the right ethical choices when faced with tough decisions. Everybody thinks they'll do that. You never really know how you're going to react and what kind of decision you're going to make until you're actually confronted with those situations. I've always said what I thought, and sometimes that wasn't popular, but that's the way I think we should be. And I've always confronted the issues that were before us head on. I never hid from them, and I tried to deal with them as openly and honestly and fairly as possible. So, I believe my background and my experience makes me uniquely qualified to continue as your selectman and to lead with the same enthusiasm, the same vision, the same sincere belief in our community, and a willingness to continually advocate for new ideas for the benefits of all. It's pretty simple what I believe and how I like to handle myself, but I found that it works the best, and I think I've done a good job. I hope you'll agree. I want to do 3 more years. I'm really passionate about this. I've been accused several times of putting my selectman's job before my real job, and that probably is true because I like to do it better. But the pay stinks. However, I really want to do this. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited you all came. I thank you all. I thank everybody for all the work they've done up until this point and for the work I know you'll do in the future. And I guess just in closing, I'll say please vote for me on May 6th. Thank you very much. I'm DePalo, and I'm running for re-election as selectman on May 6th. I'd appreciate your vote.